Hello, my name is Mars, and welcome back to Shadows over Loathing. We found Uncle Murray in the last episode, and he has tasked us with finding 3 metal obelisks that are scattered around Government Valley, which we've luckily already seen, all of them. I just have to remember where they are. Hopefully, take those down, we'll turn off these machines, and possibly unlock this door that the President went through. Right. Oh, Murray's following us. Okay, we already asked those questions. I think one was at Vista Hill. A movement catches the corner of your eye, and you turn to see several long-limbed figures gliding towards you. They twist and twirl as gracefully as ballerinas as they approach. But this beauty is contradicted by their heads, which are indescribable shadows. And I'm not using indescribable as a horror cop-out. I'm literally uncertain about what's going on in their head area. Do they have like a winged collar? Or maybe side horns? But I think that's a mouth on it? I don't know. Fight them and see for yourself. It's weird. Well, I'm curious. Those are just guys with stuff coming out of their heads. I don't know what you're talking about. Anderson, the deranged nutcracker. Oh my god. I feel like familiars were kind of an underused mechanic in this game. Like, we really only got a handful of them. Most of them were purchased from that pet store. And mostly when I'm talking about them being underused, I'm talking about like, oh, I wish more enemies had familiars. That's kind of a cool idea. Alright, let's just spray. Okay. Oh, they're still reeling from all those shots. Okay. Why were you putting so little poison on General Bruce? Let's lower everyone's stats. This should kill the nutcracker. Oh, it's a nutcracker because they're ballerinas. I get it, I get it. Okay. I'll poison you, maybe? Or like throw something at you. I'll just lob this. Do big damage there. And poison you and throw a baseball, and that'll take care of you. Oh. And I completely forgot that I have my blade. Ballet slippers cause you to walk like a ballet dancer. Curiously, these shoes are designed to facilitate terrible foot damage instead of preventing it. Swan cake? An elegant cake adorned with what you sincerely hope are fake feathers. Sparkly tutu. A garment meant to draw attention to your gams rather than leave them to the imagination. Nice. Oh, the phone's ringing again. Oh, weird. Hey, Vivian? Is that Vivian? This is Rufus. Rufus, how did you know I was here? I didn't. It's just a coincidence. My sister hunting device calculated that that is the best spot to open a wormhole to her location. Since there's a payphone there, I figured I'd call ahead to check. Wormhole? I thought it was a communications device. Well, it turns out the Pearl is crazy powerful. The wormholes are a form of communication, according to there's a crazy shadow pillar thing there. I could use some help dealing with it. That explains some of these readings. Hang on, I'll be right there. Let's wait for Rufus. Rufus? What's happening? Rufus? Come quick, Rufus. Good luck, Rufus. Oh, he was helping. That was him helping. Okay, what do I do now? The twisted pylon has been destroyed. Oh, I just walked right through it. Weird glitch. Hold on, I wanna... Red-eye slippers? Yeah! With a little tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. This will be a fun way to end the game, I think. Okay. Where else were they? No, not the ballet theater. Were they at the IRS? In a deserted public square, you come upon a towering obsidian statue of that bastard General Bruce. To face it. You tackle the statue with enough force to knock it over. It shatters into a million glistening fragments, each of which you individually stomp on. It takes quite a while. Okay, not here. No. Was it at the telephony facility? Another one of those half-plant, half-alien slime creatures wriggles awkwardly towards you on its tentacles. It makes some chirping and belching noises, presumably as some kind of threat, but it's hard to feel threatened by it, even knowing that it's actually pretty dangerous. I mean, come on, look at it. It's gross and silly. Oh, I've fought this fight already. Oh god. Make him bleed, Molly. Poison him, Dee Dee. Yeah. Just increase stats. Deal as much damage to these guys as you can. They all have physical and spooky armor, so let's do some sleaze damage to everybody. Let's wind up. Yeah. These guys are significantly more of a threat than the main guy. Ow. I am getting hurted. God, these guys are harder than General Bruce was. Okay. I'm gonna throw a baseball at you, and then the TOC will kill you. Let's put some more bleed on these guys. What do I have that can cause bleed? I'm just gonna bleed them all. I'm at the end of the game. I should make use of my combat items. Yeah. I've kind of been hoarding them. Yeah. Take that, whatever you are. Good grief, what are you? Yes. Alright. Hello? Vivian, this is Johnny, the Hobo King. My secret Hobo King powers alerted me that you might be in need. How did you know what number to call? I just picked up my phone and it connected me to you. Is that not how phones work? Well, anyway, yes, I do need some help. There's a big weird pillar thing here that needs to be destroyed. No problem, I'll send a crew of hobos immediately. Yay, hobos! Yay! Twisted Pylon has been destroyed. Thank you, Johnny. Alright. My guess is that the final one is like... It would be the mob quest, but unfortunately, I never got very far in the mob quest. I mean, I got pretty far. Ignore it. I just... Yeah. I gotta do it myself. So this is the pylon thing you mentioned, Murray. I don't have help from any of my side quest buddies, unfortunately. My guess is that it would be the mob. I never saw a diagram or what have you, but looking at it, I think that's a pretty safe assumption. And I just have to destroy it, and the other two. Taken care of. But yes, destroying them should cut off the majority of the power to the President's machine, and presumably unseal the Black House. Easier said than done, though. That thing's made of pure unbritanium alloy. Pure what now? Shadow metal. Gotcha. Approach it. The strange metal pillar is fulfilling its terrible, terrible purpose. If you're totally out of ideas, here's a really terrible one, on the house. You can try just punching it with your fist until it stops working. Are you sure? It might work, but your hands won't anymore. Yes. Damn. Finish the job. I think that was worth it. We have things in combat that can my muscle, so yeah. Alright, that's the last one. Come on, we've got to get back to the Black House and put a stop to whatever the President's plan is. Which might be world domination or world destruction or maybe both. Honestly, with as much as I was able to learn before they caught me, that's a real glaring gap in my knowledge. Let's go! Okay, so my guess is that the other two pillars would have taken away Moxie and Mysticality. I just got unlucky enough to lose the one that I need the most. But it's okay, it'll be okay. Deface General Bruce's statue, yes. Alright. Oh, the door is down. Rush into the foyer of the Black House. Murray leads you up a corridor and down a flight of stairs to a huge basement laboratory. The room is dominated by a massive writhing tear in space, seemingly confined to an unbritanium frame. The President is typing furiously at a computer console nearby. She turns around a moment later when you enter. She turns around momentarily when you enter. She glares at you, practically hissing. I knew I shouldn't have trusted that idiot Bruce to deal with you. I noticed the shadow flow has dropped back to ambient levels. I assume that was your doing? Yeah, I busted your weird pillars, and now I'm busting you. Oh no, I'd be real upset if you weren't too late. Oh, nuts. Yeah, nuts to you. The portal is open, and after I make these last few calibrations, the Emperor of all Shadows will be summoned to this plane to kneel before me. I will rule this universe, not as the President of Shadows, but the Empress. Wow, that's a much bigger goal than I was expecting. Yeah, well, go big or go home, right? Anyway, don't try to stop me. Without my attention at this console to keep the reaction steady, this thing should implode and turn the whole tri-state area into a smoking crater. Jeez, okay, well, mind if I have a look around? Sure, whatever. Just don't pester me unless you want everyone who ever heard of you to die. Oh, she's got crafting tables, a hot plate. This bed clearly hasn't slept in for weeks. What's that? An unbritanium bomb. I cobbled it together from parts I found lying around when we were distracting the President. Good job. Oh, no problem. Yeah, that was intentional. But, what's your plan exactly? From what she said, it sounded pretty bad to mess with this stuff. She's trying to summon something, right? I figure by applying enough pressure at just the right time, we can reverse the flow and make it an out portal instead of an in portal. I get it. So it'll suck her into space and no more problem. Well, not exactly. Or rather, yes, but that's not the end of it. We also have to take care of whatever's waiting on the other side of that portal. Oh, you're saying I have to go through and fight it, aren't you? I don't know if it'll be a literal fight or what, but yeah, that's the long and short of it, kiddo. This is the end game, and there's no coming back from this. Are you ready? Well, actually, let me be more explicit. This is literally the end game. Once I set off this bomb and you go through the portal, you can't come back, and the game ends one way or another. But nothing gets saved after you go, so you can reload back to here and keep playing afterwards. I don't really understand what you mean by that. That's okay, kiddo. It wasn't really you I was talking to. Hi, Murray! It's me, Mars. He was talking to me. Alright. I just need to look around a little bit. This desk has seen a lot, especially recently. Alright. I think... Yeah, all my effects are good. All my armors are good. I'll make some more combat items, sure. Cold damage, spooky damage, sleeves damage, fleas damage, cold damage. Yeah, okay. I think I'm good. You're no expert. This seems bad. Okay. Once you start this, you're stuck with it to the end, but your game won't save and you can come back to this point afterwards. I'm ready. Let's do it. Okay, it was good seeing you again, kiddo. I think I got this bomb wired so I can toss it and send it off from here by overloading this other it, which hopefully won't end up getting me killed. But whatever happens, you gotta jump through right away. I don't know how much time you'll have. Geez, Uncle Murray, I didn't spend all this time looting for you just to lose you again. Might be I'm losing you, kiddo. Where you're going, there might not be any coming back. Oh yes, thanks. Yes, that sure helps. Sorry. He gives you a hug and you return it. Ready? Yeah. No, she says. Ah, here goes nothing. Hell yeah, fire in the hole, says Molly. Resolution. You and Molly and the President and her machines and a sizable chunk of the floor appear in the middle of a pale void lit by the just arrived light of stars that burned out uncountable eons ago. Ah, no, what did you do? Threw a little monkey wrench into your plans. Don't try to act cool about this. You don't have the slightest idea what kind of power you're messing with. Oh yeah? Like what? Welcome, playthings. You look over to the right, where you see a hovering swarm of giant mouths and eyes. You get the feeling that this is your brain's best attempt to render what you're actually seeing in a way that won't simply annihilate your mind. In particular, that. Oh. Was this whole deal just a giant monkey's paw? Like, did I achieve ultimate power but also got cursed to be constantly surrounded by morons? Hey! The portal frame still looks intact. Maybe I can reopen it and fix this. Oh, you can get us back? I can get me back and then continue with my plan to summon the Emperor to our universe. Under controllable conditions as intended, yes. What if I don't want you to do that? Do I look like someone who gives a hot crap what you want? And it go away. Go die in the void. Sheesh, somebody's cranky. Hi, Molly. Hey, Molly. I don't suppose you've got any ideas? Well, Kitty, usually my plan A is bullets and plan B is more bullets. What's plan C? I never needed a plan C before. I never met anything that couldn't be shot with bullets before, but... She holds the necklace Nancy gave her. The single Tommy gun cartridge is engraved Nancy and Molly forever. You think this is one of those situations where the power of true love vanquishes evil, that kind of thing? Well, I wasn't going to say it like that. Hold off a second. Take a closer look. This technology is incomprehensible to you. You inspect the portal frame, but can't think of anything to do with it that would help, which implies that you missed some optional stuff, but that's what replays are for. Nuts. Damn it. Hello. Hi. Welcome to my realm. What are you? I am the shadow. I am what the shadow is the shadow of. Nice job if you can get it. It's a living. Pry yourself away from its gaze. No, I don't want to surrender to it. Hi. Any chance I could get you to give up on your plan to enslave humanity and the universe in general? Johnson Christ, if I had brought a gun with me, you would be so dead right now. Look, can we talk about... No, we can't. But I will strangle you with my bare hands first. Never mind. Leave her alone. Okay. Molly? I wonder what I could have missed that would have led me to this portal. I know I'm not the most thorough in these kinds of games, but God, I'm very intrigued now. I might have to finish up some of the side quests and kind of things, like off camera. That'd be cool. In terms of actual series, I'm ready to move on, but Nancy and Molly forever. True love vanquishing evil. I think this is our reward for doing her side quest. Shoot the cartridge. Ooh. It's dark in my room. The TV turned on. It sounds cliche, but love truly is the most powerful force in the universe. If it has a gun. After the metaphorical smoke cleared, you found yourself stuck in the weird extra-dimensional space where the final showdown happened. Unfortunately, the fact that you created a temporal paradox before you left the universe meant that you could never come back to normal reality. Uh-oh. You waited a billion years, and that was only the beginning. Actually, it's meaningless to say it was the beginning. The first billion years weren't any different than the next billion. You were still there, you always had been. The universe ended and you weren't in it. Murray's bomb blasted him past the borders of reality. He drifted outside of the world for a span of time that might have been 5 minutes or 5,000 years. The only way to be sure is not press a key for 5,000 years. Then you'll know it was that long. I'm pressing the key. A few weeks later, Jessica accidentally activated the fail-safe interdimensional homing teleporter Murray had left in one of his desk drawers. She was looking for a pen. Murray was wrenched through the ether and then unceremoniously dumped on the floor of the antique store. They spent a while trying to figure out what happened to you, but didn't have any luck. Being outside of the entirety of time and space makes you pretty hard to track down. Did I not? Oh my god. Is it because I didn't give the box of bandages back to my future self? I didn't wander around in Crystal Dream Lake long enough to give her back the bandages? Oh my god. Eventually, Murray gave up and started looking for another relative to help him with his future ventures. The Purple Door did a brisk trade until the end of Prohibition, at which point it did an even brisker one. Obi decided to leave the hobo's life behind and just play the oboe full-time. When they started televising underground bare-knuckle boxing, Gabby got really excited and joined a league. Her combat style was a mixture of different martial arts that came to be known as super weird fighting. Molly and Nancy went on to become the most notorious bank-robbing duo in history. They were last seen somewhere in Bolivia. The streets of Ocean City continued to be overrun by moving gangs. At least there weren't any tentacles. King Johnny got the camp loaded into the ocean, with Samuel and Agamemnon doing most of the heavy lifting. With the wind at their backs, they set sail for distant shores. Thanks to Ovid, everybody had a nice, comfortable place to sleep. It got a little boring at times, but Dusty brought a deck of cards. Whenever anybody got scratched up or seasick, Doc was there to provide some medical attention. The nights were cold, but between Beatrice's wool and Calendula's moonshine, everybody kept pretty cozy. They ate creamed fish, thanks to Walter and Creamy Steve. Cornelius and Beatty provided cornbread and beans. Mossman provided fine herbs and exotic spices. After a long and difficult journey, they arrived at the land they had promised themselves. They founded a new nation, a nation of hobos, by hobos, for hobos, with liberty and justice for hobos. Marvin went on to set the world record for mailbox sitting. Wow, it's been a long time since we saw him. He held the record for nearly a week. He has recently become interested in flagpoles. That's an actual thing that happened in the 20s. Flagpole sitting. I actually don't know how it worked. Flagpoles are very thin. How do you balance on top of one of those? But it was a real thing. People did that. The bishop's inspection went swimmingly, and the vicar of St. Polycarp's was soon promoted to vice pope. With that whole grisly murder business behind her, Ms. Brewster went on to win the Boarding House of the Decade Award from the International Salesmen's League. 236 years ago, everyone in the village of Sandwich died mysteriously except for one man. Could you have prevented this? Should you have? Josie Morton went on to discover a new extremely volatile isotope of hypercrystalline thalanomorphic diorite. With it, she eventually invented the devastating weapon that brought about the end of the Skeleton Wars. History mostly remembers her for what she said after the weapon's first successful field test. "I am become Death's death, destroyer of skeletons." To this day, they still refer to a watercress, lamb, and artichoke omelet as the Vivian. Clem and Jarvis Schlitz evaded capture by adopting the aliases Jarvis James and Clem Bartles, respectively. Oh, Bartles and James. After Prohibition ended, they had a long and illustrious career in the getting people drunk industry. In 1981, Mudhenge was acquired by the Stonehenge Corporation, renamed Stonehenge Mud, and shut down. With your help, Rhonda Rasmussen became the first person in history to fly all the way around a swamp. Her fame lasted until nearly a month later, when Charles Lindbergh was seen buying a new set of shoelaces. Haim Quarry went bankrupt after the workers fled in the night. Oh, good. Most of them made it back to the city and found new jobs, which could not possibly have been worse than their old jobs. The loss of Tom and Kathy plunged Largemouth Bass and Sons into a succession crisis. In the chaos, the bastard Reed Boner returned from exile and made his claim to the throne. Although Tom and Kathy's judge wig business never took off domestically, they were knighted in Albion for services to judicial fashion. Ugh. Paul Leathers used his new tongue to preach non-violence and counseled many a troubled youth away from a life of big game hunting. John Leathers was convicted of male manslaughter and is preparing himself to be sent to a penal colony on Mars. The kid with glasses spent a week bragging after he proved his theory about big hands. The plant kid will happily wear Mossman's mustache for the rest of his life. The chemist kid is still reeling from the whiff of the smell of the wisp we brought her. The radio kid still proudly wears the feather you brought him from Barbara Yardgra. The kid with the wrench still tells stories about the time you captured the Chupa Naranja. The fly girl is still grateful for the chest hair you brought her from Flemberg. I like those kids. Will Hunter moved to international waters to escape federal prosecution for marble fraud. The Mulross place remained uninhabited until the 1990s, when it became a hotbed for swinging sexy singles. With no natural predators to thin their numbers, McMillicuddy's sheep bred out of control. Ducks are their natural predators? Okay. He went on to become the region's primary supplier of both mittens and mutton. Despite all your efforts, the maze stayed pretty much exactly the same. Forever. Billy made sure of that. The workers at the Ford compound were able to get the factory machinery back up and running. After months of research and hard work, they were finally able to make a car entirely out of beans, and it stank, didn't it? It smelled awful and nobody would buy it, so they ended up abandoning it on the streets of Ocean City. Rufus emerged from his portal somewhere deep underground. He didn't know where he was, but he knew he was one step closer to his sister. That was all that mattered. The end. Oh my god. Shadows over Loathing by Asymmetric Games. Oh my god. Great game. I mean, what can I really say about this game? It's funny, it's smart, it's just like it does all it can with the traffic fatalities. Okay. It does basically all it can with the visual limitations it puts on itself. Like, even though it's all stick figures and all black and white, it still manages to be really beautiful. The shadow stuff, like the rain effects and all the clouds in the swamp, and I don't know. It's very cool, very well written. I think Zach Johnson, was that his name? Did the writing. Incredible. Vociferous thanks. Vocal talent. Who did the voices in this game? Beta testers. One thing I can say, like, that sets this game apart from West of Loathing is that West of Loathing felt like a meme game. It felt like a game that knew that YouTubers were gonna play it. They're all gonna make the same stupid faces to all the spittoon gags and, you know, oh look, they're stick figures and they're making funny jokes. Like, this game feels like it's trying to elevate itself. Shadows Over Loathing definitely elevated itself in that way. Like, a lot of the laughs in this game were very subtle and came at just the right moments, and like it's very well crafted. Development pets: Bats, Cookie, Loki, Mongol, Moxie, Oscar, Penny, Roxy, Stinko, and Whiskey. Thank you so much for playing our game. We know it took significant time and effort to get here, and we appreciate your attention and endeavors. You rock! If you enjoyed Shadows, you might also enjoy West of Loathing, or a free Bowser-based game, Kingdom of Loathing, which I believe is like a massive multiplayer online game, which isn't for me, so I've never checked it out, but if that's your thing, yeah, absolutely. Check out Kingdom of Loathing, check out West of Loathing, and check out Shadows over Loathing. Find out all the stuff I obviously missed. Figure out how to breathe at the bottom of that submarine for the mob to get that moonshine. Get more achievements than I did. I think at the end of the game, there are like 47 achievements in this game, and I think I've come out the end of it with 3. 2 of them were end game, and one of them was finding all the monsters for the kids in the monster clubhouse. Yeah. Like, literally, the only thing bad I could say about this game rests entirely with me. Like, it's significantly less fun when it's stretched out over 3 or 4 months. Like, this is the kind of game that should be, like, played over a week, you know? And that was a learning experience for me. Like, I know that in the future I'm either going to have to focus on shorter games, or if I choose to do a longer game, I'm gonna have to do longer episodes, because just half an hour is not quite enough. I worry about, like, a game like this getting monotonous after, like, 45 minutes, but, you know, I would have been done with it faster if I had done that, so, you know, it was a learning experience. Yeah. Not many people watch this series. I mean, I found a few people popped in here and there, but yeah, it was far from a roaring success, which makes sense. I'm a very new channel, kind of an obscure game. But this series is now here for anyone who wants to come back and watch it. Anyone who finds my channel and is intrigued by this 40-something episode long series. Yeah, I had a blast. I got a little fatigued sometimes, but like every time, I never regretted it. Like, I would feel like, oh, I'm gonna have to read a lot of words, but then I would turn the game on and I would be like, oh, this is actually a delight. And yeah, I had a really good time. It was a learning experience, and like, just kudos to Asymmetric for putting together such a deceptively stellar product. So yeah, I have been Mars, and I'll be back soon with another game. Bye.